My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "Hear the parable of the sower. The seed sown on the path is the one who hears the word of the kingdom without understanding it, and the evil one comes and steals away what was sown in his heart. The seed sown on rocky ground is the one who hears the word and receives it at once with joy, but he has no root, and it lasts only for a time. When some tribulation or persecution comes because of the word, he immediately falls away. The seed sown among thorns is the one who hears the word, but then worldly anxiety and the lure of riches choke the word, and it bears no fruit. But the seed sown on the rich soil is the one who hears the word and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and yields 100 or 60 or 30-fold. The Gospel of the Lord. Scholars tell us that this allegorical parable that we hear today in Matthew was probably added by the early church to the message of Jesus, and it surely would be in line with his message, but it was a way for the early church to confront the reality that many people, out of enthusiasm, became part of the flock and then just as readily walked away from it. And of course, we saw that in the course of the final days of Jesus as well, that it's coming into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, the whole crowd is just enthusiastic and totally taken up in the excitement of him, and keeps calling out Hosanna to the Son of David, and yet just a few days later they changed the tone to he's crucified, be crucified. And so we find that there's sort of a wandering and a wavering that happens early on in the church's experience. And so the parable focuses not specifically on the sower nor on the seed itself, but rather the quality of soil that receives the seed. And the interpretation and description in each case surely speaks some of the experience. People like Herod, for example, and Pilate heard the message, but it went in one ear and out the other because they were so focused on the things of the world they couldn't accept the message. Some of the Pharisees and Sadducees heard it, but as soon as it ended up going into a direction was more than they could handle or cope with, they walk away from it. But we're told those who really hear the word, take it to heart, and live it, as a result, produce much fruit themselves. And I think it's sort of a good thing that also the message suggests to us that everybody brings to the world and brings to the church what's uniquely theirs, that not everybody's exactly the same. And so there's some with 30-fold produce, and some with 60-fold, and some with 100-fold. And each one of us in turn are asked to give the best of we can in hearing the word and living it. Today then, as we come to this table again to be nourished, and to in turn be nourished not just by the Eucharist, but by the word Jesus gives us, let us be mindful that that same seed that was sown so many times over the course of generations continues to be developed and rooted. And hope is, God willing, with our witness and our example to each other, it is indeed a fruit that bears much fruit indeed.